Hi, I'm Aditya from CarTrade, and today we have Vincent with us. That's it, Head. Hello, Vincent. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks very much for being here.
Vincent, first of all, really congratulations for Datsun, right? We know it's not been too long for you being in India, and it has had a humble run. You've got anything to say about that?
I think we entered the Indian market in March 2014, so we've been there just shy of 18 months. I think it's fair to say that we've had a number of very, very interesting successes. Very positive media review, very positive customer reviews. We have, I think, one of the best customer satisfaction of India, and I think the product generally is delivering on key attributes that are expected by the Indian customers. Now, the objectives are broader, larger, deeper than where we are today. And I think it's not surprising when you look at A, the size and the complexity of the Indian market, and B, the entrenched dominant players of the Indian market. So it's going to take time for us to establish a brand reputation, to establish a geographical coverage, and to deliver the full potential of a brand.
Right. Since India is a big country, but the goal is essentially for a very cost-conscious segment, right? So I wanted to know, what is Datsun's strategy for tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities in India?
You know, as we know, to make things simple, the Indian market is growing. It's growing this year, it will grow in the years to come, and fundamentally we have a market moving from, say, 2.5 million cars to, we hope, 5 million cars within a limited number of years. Half of its market is, I would say, below 5 lakh. And it's fairly dispersed. You have a substantial part of a sub-5 lakh market in large cities, but there's a long list of what are called tier 2, tier 3 cities, where there's a huge demand for cars that are 4, 5 lakh. Addressing this demand is a very challenging subject, a subject of proximity, but not only for sale, also for service. So we've been working with our dealer partners in India quite a lot to find the appropriate solution. We have main showrooms that provide sales and service. We've established smaller outposts, I would say, what we call sales-only showrooms that will demonstrate and sell the product and that will rely on the main showroom for service. We've also developed some mobile solutions for service. In other words, when you have a limited size city, we have a van coming, say, once a week or once every other week, and that will provide regular service to our customers. We do understand, we have a simple yardstick, which is you need to be within 30, 40 minutes of the service point. If it's more than that, it becomes a challenge. So our aim is to provide a within 30, 40 minute solution, be it fixed or mobile, to each and every customer. And by deploying this and continuously propagating this message, we hope that we'll be able to address every demand of India.
True that. Now, one big concern about Datsun Go has been about its safety. But it is a safe car, no doubt. But I wanted to know, from a brand's perspective, how will you incorporate safety as an important topic when you communicate to customers that this is a safe car? One question is that. And the second part of my question about safety is, again, we tend to forget that it's not just about the car being safe. It's also about the infrastructure, about having good roads, right? About having proper traffic sense. And in India, it's a little tricky. As a brand, what can Datsun do with the government? Can they do something to address this issue?
I think your question and the way you phrase it is absolutely correct. First, and so that we are all very clear, road safety is an extremely important subject in which all of us need to have an active role.
Right.
And second, the current situation of India is a tragedy.
Yes.
You have more than 100,000 people losing their lives every year on roads, and that should be addressed as a matter of priority. Now, as you rightly point, it's a complex subject. Most of the people dying on Indian roads are not in a car.
True.
And even for those in a car, the root cause is not the car, what we call passive safety. It's driving skills, it's maintenance, it's visibility, it's fatigue, or it's road condition. So what can we do about this? First, we should not stay silent and we should not stay laid back. We should dynamically approach the subject. As a brand, Datsun, what are we making? What we've done first, we've put on Indian roads a car which provides all the elements of, I would say, a seriously safe, well-engineered car. What do I mean by this? Good dynamics, good seating position, best visibility, best lighting, best braking, seat comfort, reduced motion sickness. All of this which gives you the best ability to identify the risk, react on the risk, and avoid the accident. So we started with this. Now we're expanding our zone of interaction, if I could say. We introduced driver airbags on the post-crash activities, but we will also work on something I'm very passionate about, which is be a dynamic participant in driving skills improvement. Right. As you rightly say, the level of knowledge about driving, about accident avoidance, about car maintenance is improvable in India and in many of the high growth markets where Datsun is present. So Datsun will have a role there. And then beyond this, obviously, we need to all work on road development, traffic separation. This is one key concern in India. Traffic management. How to make more cars through on the roads while having a better passenger pedestrian safety on the same roads. This is a subject, and once again, we can only be a minor player, but we're willing to be a player because the future of individual transportation requires a substantial improvement of road safety in India.
True. Now, it's not been too long since you were in India, and I think your Nai Parampara TVC is also very synonymous of it. But I just wanted to know, how do you extend this communication into the mature class? Because your Nai Parampara is a very nice concept for enthusiasts, and I think everyone really has got a catch of the phrase. But you would know, or you would agree, that there's a big mature class who make a clientele for India. So how do you extend to them? How do you reach out to them?
You know, we decided to be using the logic of Nai Parampara, and I think there's a lot of beauty in this, which is recognizing the culture of India, recognizing this tension between tradition and modernity, and accepting that this is a natural tension of a country. I don't think it's targeting a particular age or income bracket, by the way. I believe it's trying to go at the heart of what India is today, a country moving from a very deeply rooted and rich culture, and also entering with gusto the modernity of the world. So we want to be expressing the fact that not only do we love and understand that culture, but also we want to be a platform for that transition.
Right.
So the communication we made on Datsun Go and Datsun Go Plus is using this Nai Parampara, but obviously we will also try to layer on this theme what the products are.
Sure.
And if you look at what Datsun Go is a young family car. It's your first family car.
Sure.
It gives you space, it gives you affordability, great fuel economy, acceleration. Go Plus looks at people who have, I would say, a bit of a broader life, a larger family, or a broader set of usage. The next car we'll introduce next year will look at another stage of your life.
Right.
So we will try, under this common theme of Nai Parampara, or we are the new player, we're trying to help you go, across this divide of culture, of tradition and modernity. And we will try to emphasize that on each of your stages of life, there's a Datsun helping you going through this transition.
So tell me something, would you agree? Because it's a common perception for Datsun that it's difficult for them because Maruti and Hyundai are already there. But do you see it as an advantage that we've always had conventional offerings and conventional types, but Datsun offers a fresh take to conventional things?
This is the beauty of business and strategy. You can always look at a situation as, is it a disadvantage or is it an advantage? Do I have the local awareness? Do I have a distribution network of the players who've been in India for 20 or 40 years? No. But how can I use this as my advantage? I am much more agile. My lineup is much newer.
Right.
My technologies are much newer. I don't live with the reputation of the old cars which are on the street with my badge. I don't have old cars on the street with my badge.
Right.
So you need to play on your strength.
Right.
And the strength of Datsun is what? It's modernity, it's technology, it's roominess, it's product innovation, and it's also, I can be Nai Parampara.
Sure.
The others can't because they are Parampara.
Sure. I think now I've really focused on the brand. Now coming to the product. You've already we've already fulfilled our spacious requirements, functional requirements, right? And as a product, it's really impressive. I have driven it and been really comfortable. I wanted to know what are your plans on further enriching the product, so to make it a little more appealing, more premium?
First, there's a background to your question which I would agree, which is the customer's tastes in India are evolving very quickly. It's not only a very demanding market, but it's also a quickly evolving market, which makes it fascinating and difficult.
Right.
Okay? So generally, as a car maker, Nissan Motor Company keeps on doing product enhancement. We're looking at our product launch, enhancement. We're looking at our product launch, what we call after launch surveys, the customer feedback, the media opinions, the dealer opinions, and we're doing, so we look at what did people love, what did people like not so much, and how can we improve on this. So that will be, can we improve fuel economy, can we improve functionality, or can we improve, perceived quality, comfort, or the small little touches that people can be very sensitive to. Because when you do a car, you basically develop 3,000 parts. Some of them will not be perfectly there. So you need to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, even if I know why I've done that, my customer tells me he or she doesn't like it so much. So we'll fix it. I mean, it's part of the humility you need when you are in the car industry. Customer is right, customer is many, customer is passionate, and customer is changing.
True. I think my last question would be a little bit personal. Now that we see an enthusiastic Vincent heading Datsun, how does that enthusiasm trickle to all the other employees? And one is that question, and like my last question would be, you're so passionate about the brand, so what brings you to Datsun?
Okay, so the first thing is, and again this is my take on management. Okay, one of the key elements of the Datsun deployment, we've done Datsun in a very short span of time, from the initial go to the launch of a car. There was less than 4 years. Okay, every car maker will tell you it takes 6 to 7 years to do that. Why did we do this? And how did we do that? We did this mostly through a very compact team made of very passionate people that all have a number of common attributes. They are passionate, they are independent, standalone, self-starter, they are convincing, and they are to some extent relentless. So I had the huge privilege working for Nissan Motor Company to be able to draw on 180,000 people employee and say, I want 20, but I want them passionate, international, standalone, and resilient. So we had those guys. And those guys and ladies, we had 5 or 6 different citizenship, and that really helped. So on the first element is, when you have an A team like this, you don't need to spend a lot of time doing cascading, reporting, and control. You just need to say, our common passion is this, our destination is that. And to some extent, I care about the destination, I'm not so sure I care about the path. Make your own path. And the second thing, which tends to be my view of management, and it's a hard one, is ask for forgiveness. Don't ask for permission. Okay? You don't have time for permission. I will have a lot of time for forgiveness if you succeed. So that's the way we've done that. Now, why am I interested in Datsun? First, it's not often that you're offered the privilege of launching a car brand. Okay?
And brave. It's been really brave.
To be very clear, how many people in the world have been offered this in the last 50 years? 20, maybe. So it's a massive privilege that was handed to me to launch a car brand. Second, I've had the chance in my life to live in a number of countries. Okay, I've lived in the Philippines, I've lived in Singapore, I lived in Japan, I lived in the US, in Europe. But I find there's something absolutely fascinating about transition economies. Okay, where people move from an economy of compromises or trade-off to an economy of choice. Where your horizon moves from, will my life be okay next week, to how do I build a better life for my children? And I think this dynamism of accessing a trust in the future and an economy of choice is absolutely fantastic. So Datsun is a vehicle for this. It was in the 50s in Japan, in the 60s in the US, and nowadays it can be again. in the beginning of the 21st century in India, in Indonesia, in Russia, in Africa. So beyond the object of a car, it's a very, very unique moment in life where this 20th century dealing only with Europe, North America and East Asia is over. The 21st century is about a lot of other countries which have been waiting for so long.
True.
So we want to be part of that.
All right. Thank you so much, Vincent, for telling us.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's an enthusiastic Vincent with a lot of go, and we really wish him all the best for his operations in India.
Thank you very much.